My narrator has rounded the Cape and he is homeward bound. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is David Novak. I have been reading 2 Years Before the Mast by Richard Henry Dana Jr. and I would like to just read about 2.5 pages. For several days we lay humbugging about in the hoarse latitudes with all sorts of winds and weather, and occasionally, as we were in the latitude of the West Indies, a thunderstorm. It was hurricane month too, and we were just in the track of the tremendous hurricane of 1830, which swept the North Atlantic, destroying almost everything before it. The first night after the trade winds left us, while we were in the latitude of the island of Cuba, we had a specimen of a true tropical thunderstorm. A light breeze had been blowing directly from aft during the first part of the night, which gradually died away, and before midnight it was dead calm, and a heavy black cloud had shrouded the whole sky. When our watch came on deck at 12 o'clock, it was as black as Erebus. The studding sails were all taken in, and the royals furled. Not a breath was stirring. The sails hung heavy and motionless from the yards, and the perfect stillness and the darkness, which was almost palpable, were truly appalling. Not a word was spoken, but everyone stood as though waiting for something to happen. In a few minutes, the mate came forward, and in a low tone, which was almost a whisper, told us to haul down the jib. The fore and mizzen topgallant sails were taken in the same silent manner, and we lay motionless upon the water with an uneasy expectation, which, from the long suspense, became actually painful. We could hear the captain walking the deck, but it was too dark to see anything more than one's hand before the face. Soon the mate came forward again and gave an order in a low tone to clew up the main topgallant sail. And so infectious was the awe and silence that the clewlines and buntlines were hauled up without any of the customary singing out at the ropes. An English lad and myself went up to furl it, and we had just got the bunt up when the mate called out to us something, we did not hear what. But supposing it to be an order to bear a hand, we hurried and made all fast and came down feeling our way among the rigging. When we got down, we found all hands looking aloft, and there, directly over where we had been standing, upon the main topgallant masthead, was a ball of light, which the sailors name a corposant, corpus sancti, and which the mate had called out to us to look at. They were all watching it carefully, for sailors have a notion that if the corposant rises in the rigging, it is a sign of fair weather, but if it comes lower down, there will be a storm. Unfortunately, as an omen, it came down and showed itself on the topgallant yard arm. We were off the yard in good season, for it is held a fatal sign to have the pale light of the corposant thrown upon one's face. As it was, the English lad did not feel comfortably at having had it so near him, and directly over his head. In a few minutes it disappeared and showed itself again on the fore topgallant yard, and after playing about for some time, disappeared again. When the man on the forecastle pointed to it upon the flying jib boom end, sorry, the cat is distracting me. But our attention was drawn from watching this by the falling of some drops of rain and by a perceptible increase of the darkness, which seemed suddenly to add a new shade of blackness to the night. In a few minutes, low grumbling thunder was heard, and some random flashes of lightning came from the southwest. Every sail was taken in but the topsails, Still, no squall appeared to be coming. A few puffs lifted the topsails, but they fell again to the mast, and all was as still as ever. A moment more, and a terrific flash and peal broke simultaneously upon us, and a cloud appeared to open directly over our heads and let down the water in one body like a falling ocean. We stood motionless and almost stupefied. Yet nothing had been struck. Peal after peal rattled over our heads with a sound which seemed actually to stop the breath in the body. And the speedy gleams kept the whole ocean in a glare of light. The violent fall of rain lasted but a few minutes and was succeeded by occasional drops and showers. But the lightning continued incessant for several hours, breaking the midnight darkness with irregular and blinding flashes. During all which time there was not a breath stirring, and we lay motionless, like a mark to be shot at, probably the only object on the surface of the ocean for miles and miles. We stood hour after hour until our watch was out and we were relieved at 4 o'clock. During all this time, hardly a word was spoken. No bells were struck, and the wheel was silently relieved. The rain fell at intervals in heavy showers, and we stood drenched through and blinded by the flashes, which broke the Egyptian darkness with a brightness which seemed almost malignant, while the thunder rolled in peals, the concussion of which appeared to shake the very ocean. A ship is not often injured by lightning, for the electricity is separated by the great number of points she presents, and the quantity of iron which she has scattered in various parts. The electric fluid ran over our anchors, topsail sheets, and ties, yet no harm was done to us. We went below at 4 o'clock, leaving things in the same state. It is not easy to sleep when the very next flash may tear the ship in two, or set her on fire, or where the death-like calm may be broken by the blast of a hurricane, taking the masts out of the ship. But a man is no sailor if he cannot sleep when he turns in, and turn out when he's called. And when, at 7 bells, the customary "All the larboard watch, ahoy!" brought us on deck, it was a fine, clear, sunny morning, the ship going leisurely along with a good breeze and all sail set. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel. That was Richard Henry Dana, Jr.